This call is now being recorded.
You have a prepaid call from
Silas Johnson.
an inmate at the Centinela State Prison, Centinela, California. This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded. You have a prepaid call. You will not be charged for this call. To accept this call, say or dial 5 now. Thank you for using Global Tel Link.
Hello, Silas.
Hello.
Hello.
Hey, what's going on?
Hey, how's it going, Silas? A long time no talk. How you been?
I've been all right, man. I've been maintaining. Just keeping my nose buried in books and man, just staying focused, you know.
That's right. That's
Forging
right.
the way out of here.
I mean that I think that should be everybody's number one goal. You know, is to go home. You know that would be my goal. I wouldn't want to spend a minute longer than I needed to in that place if it was up to me.
Man, you telling me? Yeah, I got about 10 more days, man, and I have 23 years in here, man. It's definitely been a journey, but I'm thankful for it, man. I've learned a lot about myself, and I've learned a lot about, life and people. So I'm fortunate to be in the position that I'm in right now.
Yeah, you definitely are. You definitely are. And just to let you know, Lamar just dropped in and he's saying hello to both of us.
Okay, what's up, big bro?
Man, that's your number one supporter right there, man. I admire that. That your brother. He's always coming in here. He's always showing support, and that's what family is all about right there. And he's definitely demonstrating that.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Yeah, but things have been going pretty good, man. Last year closed off kind of hard, but I mean, I've been rebounding, and I've had the love and support of my family, and it's been going good, man. I've just been maintaining and enjoying my classes at San Diego State, staying focused and enjoying the community here, and whether it be CGA or AVP, or the groups that is here. So it's definitely been cathartic for me, man. It's been healing for me.
Man, I'm glad to hear that. We also just had ICEMAN show up. Hello, Silas and James. Keep up the great work.
What's up, Elias, man?
Man, that's another one right there. He's definitely huge and huge supporter. Here he's definitely been here. Since early on. I'm glad he came across the stream. I'm not sure how it popped up on his end, but man, I highly appreciate Elias, man. He's in here for the majority of the streams. When everybody comes in and without him, who knows where we'll be at.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. The viewer support is definitely important to the mission. So man, there's been a lot going on here. The last couple of weeks, man, it's been like an episode of Reno 911 down here. You said you spoke, you talked to Gary. I'm pretty sure you found out that a gentleman.
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
I'm pretty sure you found out a brother passed away a few days ago in the building.
Yeah, I definitely did hear about that. Yeah, actually, a few people mentioned it to me, man. And when you hear stuff like that, it's heartbreaking, because that's one of the last places I think anybody would want to leave this world is from prison, and then to top it off, of a drug overdose. It's definitely like heartbreaking, because ultimately, things like that, affect your family, your loved ones. If you're married, you got kids, it's just not you're dead and that's it. Nah, it affects everybody around you.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. it just it makes me take a whole new perspective. You know, it just for me, it kind of refocuses me on everything that's important, everything that I'm doing, and just makes me double down and, you know, just try and find a way to just push back all of the darkness. Because I mean, I'm not sure whatever he was going through, but I mean, I am sure that when people use, you know, they're trying to escape something, and, you know, you got to fix what's going on with you, you know. You end up in a situation to where you're looking for some escapism, and it's not even necessarily drugs. It can be, you know, a cheap thrill with an escort, whatever, you know what I mean? Whatever kind of escapism somebody's trying to look for to take their mind off of their problems or their personal traumas. I mean, you got to deal with it, or stuff like that is going to creep up on you. And, you know, people find themselves putting themselves in positions where, you know, they're just trying to not face reality for a little while. But, I mean, unfortunately, that's the tragic results, you know.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah, you know, when you do these things, I mean, I don't think well, I think the large majority of people don't do these things and think, you know, that they're not going to be waking up the next day. But, you know, it's something you definitely, you know, want to think about if you are involved in things like that. You just never know, you know, what you're putting into your body. You know, it's coming in from a third world, and they're just throwing whatever they want in there, you know, and whatever happens. They don't care, you know, as long as they're making their money, and, you know, it's you know, it's all the same to them.
Yeah, it is. It is. Like, I mean, I don't know. I mean, it seems kind of crazy from a business model perspective to, you know, to distribute something that kills your customers. But, I mean, it's happening, you know. It's true.
And you know, and I mean, to somebody that doesn't participate, you know, in consumption of any type of narcotics, I would think, you know, that just hearing that, like, I would think, like, nah, I'm not gonna do that, you know, like, who knows what I'm putting in my body, but it seems like it has like the reverse effect, you know. It's like people want to try, like, yeah, I don't think that's gonna, you know, knock me on my ass, and you know, they underestimate the power of you know, what they're putting up there, you know, in their veins.
Oh, for sure, absolutely. I mean, probably a month and a half or 2 months ago, I was on the yard, and somebody on the body with me told somebody that this guy that a couple people had OD'd in this building, and he was like, yeah, hey, can you take this? Can you go in there and get the cash app? He was like, I just told you somebody OD'd, like 2 people OD'd. He was like, yeah, I'm trying to get some, man. And he was like, man, I'm not getting involved in any of that, man.
Hey, that's a smart man right there. Yep.
But I mean, his response is, shit, I'll have what he's having, you know, which is insane. I mean, when you think about it, I mean, a couple people over the weekend OD'd. I mean, I think it was Friday going into Saturday that he died. The guy right in my building downstairs. Somebody in 3 building, in Jesse and Ricky's building, he OD'd. He's actually in CGA with this. You know, he OD'd, and they brought him back. Initially, we heard he was dead too, but I mean, it's insane. It's insane just to see. I mean, from earthquakes to like 10 earthquakes, 15 earthquakes the other night. I mean, it's been wild down here, man.
And you know, right now that you mentioned the earthquake thing, I was actually on a stream with Javi in the middle of the night when that happened. It was a trip, you know. He started talking about an earthquake. I was like, earthquake, really? And I looked it up, and sure enough, it was like a 5.3.
Well, let everybody know, I'm the first streamer on You Have a Collect Call to live stream while an earthquake actually happened. So I'm the OG earth shaker on You Have a Collect Call.
I might have to. I might have to make that into. I'm gonna have to clip it and make it into a short.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember we were right here streaming and it started shaking. I was like, whoa.
Man, yeah. It was definitely. I wasn't expecting that. When I heard it, but these things happen. Prison can't stop an earthquake, can't stop natural disasters. If it's gonna happen, it's definitely gonna happen.
Yeah, it was shaking so long that I messaged Annie like, yeah, it's been shaking for a while, babe. It's starting to feel kind of weird. I love you.
Man,
This thing falls down. I just want to let you know. I went out thinking about you.
I was telling Javi that he was gonna have to he was gonna have to he was gonna have to bust out of there like the Rock, and he was gonna have to start saving everybody. Hopefully, they'll get a helicopter on time, to be able to pull it off. But I don't think anything happened because all I heard was it just kept on shaking all night. So I guess that was definitely
it's a trip.
Yeah.
Yeah, these doors too, and with these cells, these doors it seems like it goes like slants to where the doors because all you hear the doors like moving and the metal groaning, so it's pretty weird. It's not a good situation to be in. All the more incentive to get the hell out of prison. Do what you got to do to get out of here.
Yeah, man. When it comes to earthquake, man, I haven't been around an earthquake in quite some time, but I do remember like this earthquake back like in 87, 88. Man, I was probably like 8 years old, and it was the first time me experiencing an earthquake, and I didn't know what to do. I ran outside. I just felt like the house shaking. Dishes and stuff were falling all over the place, and I was like, man, I'm not gonna stay here. What about the house collapses? And it doesn't get any easier. It's just one of those things. When you start hearing stuff shaking, it freaks me out.
Yeah, I'm pretty used to it.
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
The Northridge quake was probably about the worst I've felt, and I'm just kind of used to it from growing up out here. It's just kind of like, I mean, it's always weird though. The thing is that like out here in California, there can be so much distance between an earthquake that it can actually be surprising when it happens. Like you remember, like oh wow, we have earthquakes, and then. But yeah, it's a trip. It's definitely a trip.
Yeah. Hey, you know what? To change the subject, I know Valentine's is tomorrow. Do you have anything? You have like a video visit maybe coming up with Annie, or I know you like poems and whatnot. You got anything you want to share with us when it comes to relationships?
Oh wow. No pressure, right?
Nah. If you got it, you got it. If you don't, you don't.
No, but no, I definitely, want to send a shout out to wifey. My love and my partner, and it's been like I said, the past couple of months have been really rough, and just for a number of reasons, and she's always been, right there and steadfast and holding me down. And she's a strong supporter, she's a strong supporter. And, every time I'm on my BS, she snaps me out of it. And I think it's just a blessing to have somebody that actually holds you accountable to show up in your life and to be better every single day.
You have 60 seconds remaining.
I think for just speaking for myself, I can be pessimistic and get down on myself and just and kind of let the darkness settle in over me and she's just like the exact opposite. I mean, my lady is like the eternal optimist, you know. So she's the perfect yin to my yang, you know. And I can't even say how much I appreciate and I love her. And I know that we're gonna have a ton of more Valentine's Days, but man, Valentine's Day is every day with my lady, man.
That's right. You want to go ahead and give me a call back because I know we're down to like about 7 seconds, and Annie's in here. She wrote he better laughing out loud. Hey Annie, how's it going? You know, thank you for tapping in and dropping that comment. And as soon as he calls back, then we'll go ahead and continue with the conversation and whatnot. We really don't have anything, or at least I don't have anything planned, to talk about. But I'm sure Silas does. You know, he's always he always brings great conversation and great vocabulary, man. I'm trying to pick up on a word or two that that he uses when he speaks. Just the way he carries himself, the way he speaks. You don't come across or at least I don't come across too many people that carry themselves like that. And I think it's definitely impressive, to be able to carry yourself in a place that brings out the worst in people, So, shout out to Silas, and hopefully, he's able to connect, and once he does, we'll go ahead and continue. Okay, and then Annie says she's gonna call us. So, man, hell yeah, call up. I got the phone ready right here, and we should be good to go. Hopefully, okay, there it is. Oh, it hung up. All right, cool. So we'll go ahead and wait for him to reconnect again right now. Shouldn't take that long, and thank you for your patience. Unfortunately, I don't have any control over this 15-minute limit. If it was up to me, it'll be at least a 60-minute limit. I think that'll definitely that would definitely be a plus if we were able to limit the announcements and the frequency of the calls being disconnected. Anyhow, so there we go. All right.
This call is now being recorded.
Global Telling. Usted tiene una llamada prepagada de
Silas Johnson.
un preso recluido de la prisión estatal de Centinela, California. Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada. You have a prepaid call. You will not be charged for this call. Para aceptar esta llamada, diga o oprima ahora el 5.
Oh, I gotta press 5. Here we go.
Gracias por utilizar Global Telling.
Hello.
All right. So,
yeah.
So
Global Tel going crazy tonight.
Well, you know what? I'll take the issues we're having right now any night, man. I recently made some connections with some gentlemen out in Calipatria, and man, let me tell you, Calipatria has so far the worst service, the GTO service ever. I don't know if like their system's overwhelmed or if it's raining or if the wind is blowing, but their service is totally jacked up. I try to have a conversation for about 30 to 40 minutes, and it was just it wasn't working. I had to cut off the stream just because how bad the service they got down there. So I appreciate now dealing with that. I definitely appreciate the Centinela GTO service. It's superb. It's a 5-star. It's a 5-star hotel over there.
I'll take your word for it. I'll take your word for it.
Yeah.
Actually, I wrote something a couple of days ago that I wanted to recite for Annie. if that was possible.
Yeah, go right ahead. You know, it's your hour here, and yeah, if that's what you feel like, then more, you know, I'll be more than happy to, you know, listen to that.
All right, cool. All right, this is for you, right? A perfect new beginning like a work of art. I'm predicting my precision is what set the mark. My apocalypse convenes in the quiet dark. Sinister, yet it originates within the heart. Broken paragraphs abandoned, left and undersigned. Freedom physically, but left imprisoned in the mind. See division, but we reconcile and multiply. Paradise confronting new choices that equals do or die. I envision dreams that parallel the highest high. I decode what living means within your green eyes. I explore between the seams of your creamy thighs. Lay in prison in the paradise within your arms. This is tranquility, virgin charm. Majesty of a queen that reigns within my heart. I'm assuming you know the shit we on. Genuinely distributor of the dark palm. So a little something for my wifey for Valentine's Day. Hello? Hello, James?
Hello.
Hi.
Oh, okay. Hey, Annie. I'm not sure. Oh, hold on. Silas is disconnected. Let me plug him back in.
This call is now being
Este es
recorded.
Global Tellink. Usted tiene una llamada prepagada de
Silas Johnson.
un preso recluido de la prisión estatal de Centinela, California. Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada. You have a prepaid call. You will not be charged for this call. Para aceptar esta llamada, diga o oprima ahora el 5. Gracias por utilizar Global Tellink.
Hello, Silas.
Hello, James?
All right, sorry about that. I'm not sure what happened, but I had to go run out, and because the phone rang on the phone, I wasn't expecting it, and you know these newer phones don't have a built-in headphone jack, so I had to go run and scramble and pick up one of these cables so I could plug in a headphone jack. But anyhow, you know we got Annie on the line right now. She was able to call in.
Hi, baby.
Hey, what's up, sweetheart?
I just wanted to call and remind you that tomorrow's Valentine's Day, and I expect big things in your poems with your fancy words that you always speak.
You got it. You got it. Fancy meeting you here.
Well, we talk a lot, but I just wanted to call because I know that we're going to be a part of this at some point, but I just wanted to say hi to you and James, and I appreciate all that you do for everyone who's incarcerated. It really, it's a good outlet for them to vent, and I think it's an amazing opportunity for them to kind of experience a little bit of the real world. When someone's behind the fence for such a long time, it's like I try to explain to Silas, the world is not the place that you left, and so it's
wilder.
Just cool for him to, it's just cool for him to be able to have that. And so I just wanted to call and say hi. I don't want to steal all y'all's time, but
Hey, definitely. Appreciate you calling in, Annie. And that's one of the reasons I set up this phone. So if anybody ever wants to call in and drop a instead of dropping a comment, you can actually say it and we can hear your voice. And eventually hopefully I'm gonna set it up where we can even offer like video chats from our listeners and Silas too. I know he's been he had mentioned to me a while back that he wanted to do the video thing. So now I'm ready to do it. So ready to take it to that next level.
Yeah, I think it's
Absolutely.
great. You've definitely done a lot in the time since I've been watching. So you've done a great job. Congratulations.
Thank you. Really, really appreciate it.
Well, baby, I don't want to put you on the
Mistress.
spot, but I just wanted to call and say I love you, and that was it.
I love you
Speechless.
too,
You
pretty
better
lady.
take this opportunity.
Hey, well, you know what? I'm gonna tell you guys something since I got both of you guys on the line right now, man. Everybody loves these prison love stories. So we might be we might be branching off to love during lockup, but this is gonna be the raw and uncut version over here. Nothing's gonna be scripted. It's gonna be all natural and organic.
Yo, you
Well,
wouldn't believe the conversations that we have, like that Andy and I've had about just the system and just everything. Like, I mean, I was doing my homework last night and we were doing research and we just had a discussion about Social Security that just was mind blowing. Like, like there's just a ton of interesting conversations to be had.
Yeah, man.
Yep. Go ahead, James. I'm sorry.
I just read a comment from ICEMAN. I think ICEMAN he wants another poem. He's been writing poems. So now that you started, I don't think you'll be able to close Pandora's box anymore, Silas. You're gonna have to drop these poems on a regular basis over here.
He has a whole book. You can buy it.
Hey, that's good. That's definitely a good way, to put out there. Yeah, man. I definitely gotta, I gotta add some links to Silas's book.
I forgot to mention she's my wife and my manager.
There it is. Yeah. Hey, definitely a keeper. That's 2-in-1 right there. She's definitely a keeper right there. She's gonna be promoting you and so supporting you. Definitely good qualities right there.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Absolutely. Man, I just grabbed my book right now. And I guess look for something in here I could recite real quick.
So I want to tell you a
Let's
funny
see.
story about some of the poems that Silas wrote. They're poems that refer. I have blonde hair and green eyes, and I'm white, right? And so the poems that Silas has written are very interesting because they depict a person of my image before we ever met. And it's just interesting because, I think I'm the first girl of that description in his life. And so it's just interesting how all that came to be when we read some of his poems out of his book. And so I'm like, you wrote these about me, but you didn't even know me. Like, it's pretty crazy. It's like, is it meant to be when you read the poems?
You know
so
what?
It was interesting.
I
That's
think
what you call manifestation, James.
that's what I was about to
That's
say.
just manifesting
Yeah, I
things.
wasn't gonna use that
Man.
word, but yeah, that's definitely is, man. You manifested that right there. You wrote it and you put it into words, and now can you manifest like me being a millionaire? Can you put that out there, and man, and we'll be set after that.
Oh, yo, check this out. I
Yeah.
already told Annie. I told Annie. Okay. First of all, I'm only working 10 years when I go home. 10 years.
Yeah.
So I got 10 years to make it work. And I told her 5 years after I come home, we're going to be in Porter Ranch. Porter Ranch is an exclusive community in the San Fernando Valley. And, you got to have Kardashian money to be up there. So, that's my goal, is 5 years Porter Ranch. So,
Legally.
Yeah.
Legally. Legally.
Just for clarification
Legally.
purposes.
Yeah, legally. Legally. That's what the school is for. That's what the writing is for. That's what the grind is for. It's all it is headed towards Florida Ranch. So that's our ultimate destination. That's our that's goals. That's the vision board right there. But okay, since we on the Valentine's Day, we in love mode right here, and I have my wife online with this.
Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada.
I'll recite. There are two halves to my book. It's called Rivers Light in the Barren Tunnel, Elegies and Effigy. And Rivers Light in the Barren Tunnel is more hopeful, romantic, even longing poems, love poems. And Elegies and Effigy is kind of like the darker half. So I kind of put it together as a yin and a yang. Elegies and Effigy are obviously like the darker portions of my journey and, my thoughts. But we're going to keep it light tonight. And I'm going to read a selection. I'm going to read a selection from A River's Light in the Barren Tunnel, and it's called Bloom of a Sunflower. Serene dream of love, a sin-bent escape, mere lines of chocolate scented incense's wake. The fall of my fortune bound by lips unapparent, a covenant sealed by light of day. Trivial pursuits of passions otherwise imagined, sweat of my brow converge on empty pleasures, all the while encased in my knowing. But what is my knowing? The wrath of your paradise is well hidden, stowed away in the secrecy of your soul's prison. Fleeting wonder, may your path render mine forgiven. Nourish me with benevolence held within your vision. For I am redeemed thus, emboldened by majesty transcendent touch. Your ember glow, the renewal of all things, a miracle too bountiful for harvest. Jettisoning worlds of dust-filled debauchery, wearily revisiting my place of vigil, overtaken beneath shrines of honeysuckle. I sleep and conjure sweet visions rediscovered, and live nirvana shielded from waking eyes. So it's just a little something out of, a little selection out of my book, Bloom of a Sunflower.
Man, Silas, you're definitely gifted. Man, I wish I had a quarter of that in me. I'm sure. Man, if I could, I would. But man, I just when you got it, you got it, and I definitely don't got it when it comes to poems. So definitely impressive. Especially, I'm sure your wife here,
Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada.
I'm sure she appreciates that whenever you write her a poem.
Actually, I pick it apart because I don't know what those words mean sometimes, and so I have to ask him. I'm like, what does that even mean? And he's like, just look it up. I'm like, oh my God. So I look it up, and then I try to put it into the context. And Silas just has these big fancy words that I totally am jealous that he even knows what they mean. And sometimes I feel so uneducated when I'm talking to him. So I get the same thing on the other side.
Don't let her be modest.
You what?
Don't let her be modest. Don't let her be modest. My wife is a boss. She explained some of the most complicated concepts to me, and I have to sit here and ask her 20 different questions just to get in the realm of what she's talking about with her job. So don't let this woman sit here and perpetrate like she ain't a boss, because she is.
Let me just give an example of what I'm referring to. If you're in the pool and you're laying on your back, you're floating, right? Would you call it floating?
No, you're buoyant.
I'm not asking you. It's
You're
not
buoyant.
your turn. It's James' turn, not you, Silas. James,
Hey.
would you call it floating?
I'm not sure.
If you're laying in the pool
Uh-huh.
and you're in the water
Uh-huh.
and you lay on your back, you're floating on the water, right?
I would call it floating, yeah.
Okay, Silas, what do you call it?
You are buoyant.
Oh,
You're
okay.
buoyant.
What in
You're
the
buoyant.
fuck is buoyant?
You're buoyant. You ever heard of?
You see what I mean?
You wait. Okay. Now, you ever heard of a buoy? Have you ever heard
Oh,
of a
yeah,
buoy?
yeah. Those things that float in the ocean.
Okay, baby, that makes total
Oh,
sense when
okay.
you're
Now-
talking about a buoy, but no one's thinking about buoyant when you're talking about floating in the water. Like, so he tells me,
Well,
I'm not.
Buoy is a derivative of the word buoyant. It means to float.
Okay, but look, it took you 5 minutes to explain to me what that meant. When you could have just said floating, then I wouldn't have had to even ask you.
Hey, you have Webster's. Use it.
But do you see what I'm saying, James? The struggle is real on both sides of the fence for us. Like, I do have a very, I'm a professional in my career, and I deal a lot with the NRS statutes in regards to the laws that mandate homeowner associations. And so I have to, basically reference that law with the CCNRs for my HOA or whatever and figure those things out. So when I talk to Silas, he's so impressed by it. And I'm thinking, this is like just law. Like, those are words that you actually had to like figure out the definition and you figure out how to use them in a sentence. Like, I don't have that. So I'm just saying he's really intellectual, and it's good for me because I like to be challenged and I like to learn new things, but at the same time I don't retain information well. So I'm always like, what does that mean? And he's like, we talked about this before, and I'm like, okay, but I forgot. So I guess if there was just one or two things that but it's like every day there's 10 things. Like, what does that mean? What are you saying? I don't understand. So.
Well, you know what?
But
I'm definitely on the same boat with you, Annie, because my memory is horrible too. I don't retain a lot of information, and I'm just gonna throw this out there. I
Le
think
queda un restante de 60 segundos.
I think we were robbed. We didn't have a grandfather or a dad that gave us these words. If they would have given us these words, we would have been at the same level. But unfortunately, life didn't have those plans weren't in life's plans for us. So we got what we got, right?
Well, my private school education failed me. That's all I have to say. I clearly was failed for all the thousands of dollars my parents spent in Catholic school. I clearly did not get the education that Silas got in prison. It's amazing.
Hey, I'm a product of the LA Unified School District. Shout out to Lawrence Junior High. Shout out to Nobel Junior High. Shout out to Chatsworth High School, Monroe, Kennedy, and then all the other schools I got kicked out of.
I know I was about to hang up, Silas. Hey, Annie, would you mind sticking around right now? Right now, when I pick up this car right now, I actually have somebody knocking on my door, so I'm gonna have to step away for a few minutes. So if you don't mind, holding it up with Silas, if it's not too much to ask.
No, not at all.
Okay.
We'll take care of you until you get back. We got you.
Okay. Perfect. So as soon as he calls right now, then I'll go ahead and pick up the car, and then maybe you could just give him the quick rundown, and then I'll step back in as soon as I'm done. I wasn't expecting anybody today, but they just they showed up.
This call is now being recorded.
Global Telling. Usted tiene una llamada prepagada de
Silas Johnson.
un preso recluido de la prisión estatal de Centinela, California. Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada. You have a prepaid call. You will not be charged for this call. Para aceptar esta llamada, diga o oprima ahora el 5. Gracias por utilizar Global Telling.
I'll be right back.
Okay. Baby, James has someone at his front door, so he's going to answer the door, and he'll be back, okay?
Ooh, I can exercise my journalism chops right now.
You keep that shit to yourself.
Yeah, here we go. Here we go, Mrs. Johnson. Yep. Got you cornered right where I want you. Caught and quartered.
Well, I had to call in since you guys are talking about Valentine's Day. I felt it was only appropriate.
Okay. So, let's talk a little bit about love. Let's talk about love.
What do you want to talk about, baby?
Well, what is it? What are some of the difficulties with being in a romantic relationship with somebody that's incarcerated? Like, what are some of the tests?
I would say I feel like communication is imperative, and we clearly are working on that. So testing that skill in my life and your life has definitely been a challenge and many sleepless nights sometimes. And I think just not being around the physical touch aspect of it is a big piece of it, you know, because you feel like you can't get enough time in, but you really do get enough time in, but you're lacking the physical touch side of it. And I think it's hard when you struggle and, you know, I'm not there to support you and love you and hug you through it, you know. So it makes you feel helpless when your loved one is struggling with something and you really can't do anything other than have a listening ear and some positive words of encouragement.
Okay. What do you think the key, besides communication? I mean, obviously communication is huge, the number one thing. But what do you think is like the second quality or attribute, either from a partner to another partner or between a couple, for a relationship to last? In essence, what is a long distance relationship?
I think for me, the important piece for you and our relationship has making you feel like you are part of my life, right? Like you're actually physically here and part of my life, because that's, you know, that's a big piece of a relationship. Like, oh, she's just dating me from prison and living her own life out there. But in reality, you know, from the time you wake up until the time you go to sleep, you're on my mind as I'm on your mind, you know, but you don't necessarily always feel that because you're not a part of it. You know what I mean? So I think that the challenge is, you know, like, you know, when I went to my Christmas party, for example, it was making you feel like you were there even though you weren't there, you know? And just making you a part of those things because, you know, of course you want to be there with me to do it. So figuring out how to make you feel as if you're a part of whatever's happening in my day-to-day life. And I think that's the challenge. And once you can find a way to feel accepted, I don't want to say accepted because you're already accepted, but once you feel accepted into my life, that's not the right word. Tell me another fancy word, babe.
I would say ingratiated, to be fully like an act.
Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada.
You're going to provide the definition with that?
Or integrated.
Integrated. Okay, integrated. I know what that means. So, you know, having you feel integrated into my day-to-day routine, as I feel integrated into yours. I think for you, because, you know, I'm not behind a wall, it's easier for me on the outside looking or dealing with it from my shoes is easier than it is from your shoes because, you know, it's a perfect example is you don't even know what the office building I work in looks like. You don't know what the parking lot looks like. You know, you don't have a vision of my every single step. Not that you're controlling or crazy, but it brings some sort of comfort and peace in a relationship to know.
I'm a little crazy. I'm a little crazy.
I mean, you are a little crazy. You're working on it. You're working on it. I mean, you know, but I don't let you be crazy either, you know. Like, there has to be some sort of understanding from your side that, you know, I have, you know, my life I still have to live a life too. You know, I still have to find happiness in life as well. And, you know, I'm not stuck behind the wall, you know, and, you know, mostly I just go to work and come home, but figuring out, you know, and having understanding that it is okay for me to go out and hang out with my coworkers at the casino or, you know, just anything like that. And so, you know, but I think it would be more comforting for you if you knew what the casino looked like, if you knew what the drive looked like to get there, you know, if you knew where the gas station was to make sure I had gas, or, you know, I feel like if you knew those pieces, it would bring more comfort to you. And so just integrating you into that piece of life to try to give you the visual, you know, I send pictures to you so you can kind of see what everything looks like, you know. So I think in our relationship, I think that that's a struggle for you, and maybe I'm wrong, but I think that just trying to integrate you into my life, not that you aren't already integrated, but to be a piece of my everyday life has to bring you some peace at some point. And so I would say that that's the other big piece, communication and figuring out how to make you feel as if you're right next to me.
Okay. Well, and for the record, you are right. What gives you? You relate to me really well. Is there any experience or that you draw upon to be able to relate to somebody in my position? Like, is there anything? What gives you the ability to be so understanding and empathetic to my incarceration?
Well, because I've been in those shoes too. You know, I had a 58-month prison sentence, for those of you who clearly don't know. And I did 49 months in federal prison on a drug case. And I know what it's like to be in your shoes. And I know what I would have wanted if I would have had someone on the outside, you know. So, like, what would have made me feel good, you know, just thinking about those things. So I can relate to you because of that, you know, but I've also lived the bougie middle class lifestyle of, you know, the working class, and I've lived in the ghetto selling drugs, you know. So I've been on all sides of the fence in life, and so I think it helps me relate to you in lots of different aspects, because we have all those commonalities. Is that a word? Commonalities, common
You're
things
doing
in
great.
common.
You're doing great.
Don't judge me right now. Be nice.
No, that's
so yeah.
You got it.
Well, is it a word?
Yeah, it is, and you used it in perfect context.
Whatever. But I just think that, you know...
Is James back?
What? No, he's not back yet.
I was just trying to see if James is back.
He hasn't came back yet. So I think that, you know, that makes it easier for me to be able to relate to you, you know?
Yeah.
And of course, how we...
Yeah, absolutely.
Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada.
What's your next question, dude?
Is there, like, how can you give the viewers like a little window into, you know, how we spend time and how we kind of, you know, like do kind of like fun things like date nights and you know, you give them a little insight in how a couple can bond long distance in a situation like this.
So we found a couple of things, you know, there's some things we tried, like I thought I would be able to read, like I was thinking we could get a book or, you know, and I could read to Silas and, you know, make that part of like a date night, so to speak, but it didn't work because I'm not a good reader like Silas is, I think he probably could have read the stories better. But we plan, like, you know, we'll pick a movie and, you know, Silas picks the movies mostly. But I will watch the movie for an hour and then we'll call each other and we'll make something to eat and get a snack as if we're together and get back in the bed and watch the rest of the movie together, and then you'll call back and, you know, we do your homework together and we plan our weekends according to what your schedule looks like and my schedule looks like so that we know, you know, I wouldn't call it date night. I just would call it figuring out how to spend quality time and engage in, you know, conversations about work or just general things like even Social Security that we were talking about last night, just, you know, those kind of things, and video calls and, you know, and we always try to make sure we talk on the phone so much so we don't really do a lot in the mail, but, you know, like we tried to time Valentine's Day cards, so hopefully they get there tomorrow. We'll see. He sent his on Thursday and I sent mine on Friday, so hopefully I win and he gets mine and I don't get his, but I don't know. We'll see.
Wow, that is really sinister. That was really sinister. Like we're gonna continue offline about that. That was wow.
All right,
wow.
Guys. So
hi James, you're back.
I'm back. But I had some unexpected guests and they're still here. So right now when we get the announcement, I'm gonna go ahead and you know, cut the stream. But you know, I want to go ahead and, you know, thank both of you guys. You know, I'm glad you called in, Annie. Perfect timing. You know, for you to call, you know, call in and Silas too. You know, really appreciate you guys. You know, being able to you know, cover me while I was gone. But
well, we were just giving a little backstory. You know, I don't know. He asked me, what did you ask me about relating to you, or how am I able? What did you ask me, Silas?
Yeah, how are you able to empathize with me in the position that I'm in? We kind of did like a pre-interview, if you will.
Oh, nice.
So just to familiarize listeners with Annie a little bit. So so I'm putting this interdisciplinary degree to work. Interdisciplinary studies. The San Diego State Journalism Media Study class is coming in handy. I'm turning
one of the things he asked, James, is how am I able to relate to him? And so I don't know if you know.
Le queda un restante de 60 segundos.
I did 49 months in federal prison. I had a 58-month sentence for a drug conspiracy case. And so, you know, I live a totally different life than I used to. I went from living in the ghetto selling drugs to a professional and having a career. And so, you know, it helps me relate to Silas and know what he's going through on the other side of the fence, because Silas is an asshole. He gets in these negative moods and it's so disheartening, you know, like it's always the what ifs or the, you know, and it's like stay focused, live in the moment, you know, like stop thinking about everything that could go wrong, you know?
Yeah.
And so anyways, I just think that, you know, that's a big piece of how I can relate to Silas, and I think that that's why our relationship works, because a lot of people can't relate to me. You judge a book by its cover and you look at me, you'd never think I've been down the road I've been or the path I've been down. So it just is, it's just an interesting dynamic, but we'll chat more about it, and you enjoy your friends, and we'll have to do this again.
Definitely, yeah. I'm gonna have to coordinate something with Silas, and so we could go ahead and have you both come on, and I'm pretty sure the audience will love you guys, and it'll be a different dynamic, bringing on one of these gentlemen, and then with their significant other. This would be the first time for me, so I'm definitely looking forward to the new possibilities. That's gonna open up to the audience that we'll be able to offer something new to.
Yeah, I'm excited. So we will chat later, and you guys all have a good night. And thank you for listening to me and Silas's banter. And we will do this again sometime. Okay.
Great, perfect. We definitely will. All right.
All right.
Have a good night.
All right. Thanks, James.
All
Bye.
right, you're welcome. Thank you. All right, guys. I'm gonna go ahead and cut the stream. I really appreciate you guys, tuning in today. I got other pressing things going on in real life. So with that, life's like a candle. Once you blow it out, it's lights out. And with that, I'm out.